Hey, what is up, everybody? I am excited to be here and to get started. I'm going to wait just a few minutes and give some people time to join us here on the Facebook Live video. We are going to be talking about streaming music and embracing the future of the music industry and stop fighting it. And I got some great tips on how artists can use streaming to your advantage. And instead of being scared of it, there are ways you can take advantage of it and use it to further your career. So, as always, I have to give a little disclaimer. First time I did Facebook Live, a long time ago, hi Jen, thanks for joining. How's it going? First time I did a Facebook Live video, I choked the entire time, literally, because my throat was dry. So now whenever I do them, I always make sure I have a lozenge. And that's how you say that word. I used to think it was lozenger when I was a kid. Anyway, I have a lozenge. So sorry if that's a little annoying with that in my mouth, but that's the only way I can keep from from coughing nonstop on camera. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. Hey, I'm waving back. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're going to get started here in just a second, and we're going to talk a little bit about streaming music. So if that is something you're interested in, I hope you'll stick around. I also have a cool little gift that I want to give you guys at the end of this video, just to say thanks for stopping by. So stick around for that. All right. Well, hopefully some people will continue to join as we go along here, but I'm going to get started and start talking about the topic at hand. All right. Once again, my name is Chris Swan. If you don't know me, I run a record label called Soul Motivation Records, and we do motivational hip hop and R&B. And you can check us out at soulmotivationrecords.com. So this subject is definitely something near and dear to my heart. I am a musician. I have in my whole life. And then especially now running a record label, you got to figure out a way to make a living. Musicians love to do music. We do music because we love it, and we love inspiring people and encouraging people. And for sure, that's the number one reason to make music. But a close second is to pay your bills, and we all got to pay the bills. And if we can find a way to do what we love and make a living, then you're living the dream. So for years, the way to do that was you make CDs and you sell CDs, and then you go on the road and you play shows and you get paid for all that stuff. This is kid-friendly, yes. Yes, this is a kid-friendly event. So, back in my day, that's how you did it. You made CDs and you sold CDs. But these days, with the development of technology, it's gotten a little harder to make a living doing that. And that is because of streaming music. So, what do we mean when we talk about streaming music? Most everybody knows streaming music now. It's been around a long time. But for those who don't, there are services out there that you can subscribe to. Some are even free, that you can listen to music, and pretty much anything ever that was ever made, you can listen to. Hey, my dad's here. Hi, Dad. So the big three services are Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon has a streaming service as well. There are also, hundreds of other ones. There are different ones that are big in Europe, different ones that are big here, but those are the big three ones. There's also YouTube. A lot of people use YouTube to listen to music. So that's what we're talking about when we are talking about streaming music. The cool thing about it is that now you can have everything ever made, every song that you love and more, basically in your pocket. If you pay $10 a month for Spotify or Apple Music, you can have it on your phone or your iPod. They still make iPods? Yeah. On your iPod, on your iPhone, or your Android, whatever kind of phone you use. I'm an Apple user, but whatever. On your phone, you can have pretty much the entire music collection of the entire world that's ever been made since the beginning of time. Pretty amazing. So as frustrating as streaming can be, music, in the music business, it's also a huge development in technology and great, and I love it and I use it every day. So I highly encourage you, if you are not doing it already, to check out Spotify or Apple Music. Those are the two big ones. Subscribe. Spotify you can use for free on your desktop. So if you just want to check it out, go to Spotify.com. You download the player. You can use it for free on your desktop. It's pretty amazing. If you're not already hip to this, definitely check it out. So this is great. Now we have all these streaming services. We can listen to all the music ever recorded right on our computer or on our phone. But the problem is with people who have been making a living with music, streaming creates an extremely big problem. And if you don't follow the music business, it's destroying the music business. Record companies are shutting down. There's a panic, definitely the corporations don't know how to make money anymore, and they're trying to take money from the artists by taking, doing different kind of deals to take money from their performances and stuff. It's just a crazy time, and everybody's trying to figure it out. So I know this has a lot of artists down and out, especially smaller artists, independent artists who don't have maybe a lot of funding behind them. A lot of people think it's hopeless now. You can't make money in the music business, especially if you're not a huge star. And I am here to tell you that is not true. No matter who you are, if you are willing to work hard enough and your music is good, you have the absolute opportunity to still make a living. You just have to start thinking about it a little differently. I agree. Spotify and iTunes, cool. I agree. Those are the two big ones. So what do we do? There are ways to do it. First of all, I just want to say, if you're a musician, don't give up hope. Don't think you can't make a living in music, because you can. You just have to change with the times. All right. So, even for me, I've struggled with embracing streaming. It's been hard for me, to make that transition, because I have been in both worlds. When I started music, we sold CDs, and we sold a lot of CDs, and that's how we made a living. And now I'm in music, and I see this side of it, where it's almost impossible to sell CDs. And it's really hard to work so hard on an album to basically give it away. That used to be the thing. You put all your time, blood, sweat, and tears into making this thing, and the payoff was people were going to buy it. And now that's just not the way it works. But here's the truth. Streaming is here to stay. You have to accept it. It's not going anywhere. You are not going to make a living from selling CDs. You have to accept that. You can still sell some CDs at live shows and to some hardcore fans, but the days of the huge record sales are over, and we just have to accept that. You have to look now, you have to look at your albums and singles as being promotional material. It's how you get people excited about you, and it's how you get them to spend money in other ways. Yes, there are other ways to make money. And some of those other income sources can be your merchandise sales. Sell t-shirts, sell stickers, and patches are big right now. Mugs, whatever you can think of. You can sell these on an online store, or you can sell them at your live shows. Also, pretty much everybody's hip to this now, but if you're not, Patreon is a really cool thing. It's basically a virtual fan club, and you can find patrons that go to your page and donate money to your creative. It's not just for music; it's for any kind of art, and they donate a monthly amount, like a subscription. And they get reward levels. So basically, they'd get one song a month or whatever. They get a free download every month or whatever you offer them. Access to a newsletter, Google Hangouts, all this kind of stuff. A lot of people are using it to make some extra money. Again, it's not necessarily easy, but it's just like anything else. It's another way for you to create income if you're willing to really work it. You can also do your own virtual fan club on your own website. Just do the same thing on your own website. And obviously, live shows, ticket sales. You can do private house concerts, which are becoming kind of a big thing. Just doing concerts at people's houses, private parties. You can do online concerts and sell tickets. You can get, also, if you're putting out enough music, you make money off of royalties. You can make money off of streaming revenue. Yes, it is possible to make money from streaming, and we're going to talk about how here in a second. There's also sync licensing, which is a big thing, is getting your stuff placed in TV and movies and commercials and stuff like that. So you just need to brainstorm, think outside the box. Do not give up, all right? There are people out there making a lot of money in the music business. There's no reason you can't be one of them. You just have to accept that streaming is here. You're not going to sell a lot of CDs. Accept that and start moving in a new direction. So how can you do that? What can you do to use streaming to your advantage as an artist? So here's some of the things that are great about streaming. First of all, you can use it to re-release older music. If you had old demos or old CDs that you want to re-release, streaming is a great way to do it. It's pretty affordable now to get your stuff out there on Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. Just start putting out old stuff. If you had to go the traditional way and put that in a record store, you probably would never get around to do it. But because it's just a matter of uploading some files, now you can put out all this old music that maybe you never would have otherwise. So re-release some old stuff. You can grow an international fan base a lot easier now. You used to have to go travel to Japan to get Japanese, fans. But now, through the internet, you can get Japanese fans from your living room. All you got to do is put it up on streaming and find a way to get their attention and get it out to them. But streaming puts your music out there to the whole world. So use it to grow an international fan base. And here's the big thing. Save and add is the new buying CDs. All right, let me say that again. Saving and adding, that is the new buying CDs. So on Spotify, you can save songs, save albums. On Apple Music, you can add songs, add albums. But what that does is it puts that music into your own personal music library. So that is the new buying CDs. You want to encourage your fans to save or add your music, because that puts you into their personal library, and it's just like they bought your CD. So a lot of people, when they complain about streaming, they say it's, you don't have a personal music library anymore. You lose that whole thing of collecting or having that music at your fingertips. But that's not true, because they've changed a lot of things and added things like the save and the add so that you can do that. So instead of encouraging people to buy your CD, you want to still try to sell your CDs. But at the end of the day, just tell them to add you on Spotify, or add you on Apple Music, or save you on Spotify. And then you're right there in their music library. It's just like they bought your CD. So you can also get on popular playlists. So the way that a lot of people are making money through streaming is by getting on certain playlists. Now, I will be the first to tell you this is not necessarily easy, but this is one way that you can go about making money from streaming, and it can add up quick. If you get to if you get your music on even just one really popular playlist, you could get millions of listens, millions of streams, and that can turn into actual real money. And I have proof. I actually just got my first royalty from my two first releases from Soul Motivation Records, which just came out a few months ago. They came out last June and last November. And just 2 weeks ago, I got a direct deposit from streaming revenue. So I haven't even done a whole lot to promote it yet. I'm just now starting to promote the streaming stuff. And I actually just released it on streaming later than those dates, because I waited to put it on the streaming services. My point is, you can make money from streaming, and I have already gotten my first deposit without even trying very hard. So I'm saying you can work this system. You can get on playlists. You can contact these curators of these big playlists, get on these popular playlists, and you can totally change your whole music career. You have to look at streaming as like a serious part of your music career now, because this is where people are listening to music. All right? So now you want to get your fans to follow you on Spotify, and again, add you on Apple Music. The more followers you have, the better your chance to get on some of these automatic algorithmic playlists like Spotify's Release Radar and Discover Weekly. They drive a lot of traffic to your music, and the way to get on those, it's an automatic thing. If you have a lot of followers, a lot of new followers, and you're getting a lot of listens, and you're putting out a lot of new music, you can get onto these playlists and bam, get, thousands new fans just by being on that. So you want to make sure you're putting out a lot of music, and you're putting it out often, all right? So the days of people just waiting for you to put out an album, just sitting around pining, waiting for you to do an album, those days are kind of over. Your hardcore fans will still be like that, but people get so distracted so easily now, and they'll forget about you fast. So what you need to do is you need to be putting out music regularly. You need to be, putting out albums, but in between albums, you should be releasing like singles or short little EPs or whatever you can to kind of constantly putting, new things out there to keep that momentum going. And also just the way you're going to get on playlists, the way you're going to get attention, the way you're going to make money on streaming is to put out a lot of music. So you want to just be releasing stuff often, and you want to do as much as you can. New albums, release older stuff. You can make compilation CDs. You can do like a greatest hits of some of your older albums and stuff like that. Just think outside the box. There's a lot of things you can do to keep putting out new music and growing those fans online. So the one thing you do not want to do, and I admit I did this a long time ago, actually, not recently, but when streaming was just kind of starting. I used to play my own music a lot to get my listens up. And I stopped doing that right away because I realized that was kind of lame. But it's lame for a couple different reasons. First of all, especially on Spotify, you can see what people are listening to. So if you're sitting there listening to your own music, people will see that you're doing it, and they'll be definitely turned off by that. Also, you can get penalized for that by Spotify and Apple Music. So don't do that. Don't just sit there and listen to your own stuff. You want to get people to follow you. You want to get fans to add you and get people to engage with your music. Share your links, add your music. We need to change these metrics. So the new music business is different. The metrics we follow are different. It used to be album sales, number of albums. Whenever I release something, it used to be I want to sell this many albums, and I want to make this much money on the album sales. And it's still good to track that. I'm not saying you can't sell anything, but our new metrics really should be listeners and streams and followers and saves. How many people are streaming? How many listeners do we have on our playlists? How many followers do we have to our playlists and our artists and our artist page? And how many people are saving our albums and saving our songs? You can measure all that stuff and keep track of that. Those are the new metrics of the music business. So one of the really cool ideas I'm excited about is creating your own playlist. So if you have music out on Spotify or Apple Music, you can create your own music. Even if you don't have music out, you can create playlists. Anybody can do this. But a really cool way to get people to check out your music now, instead of hounding them to buy CDs that nobody buys, is to create a playlist with all your songs on it, all your projects, all your different albums, and just ask them to follow the playlist. It's free. Who wouldn't do that if they like your music? It's free for them to do that. It's no big deal. They just follow it. And then if they follow it, it stays in their little, their library. So now they have access to all your music at the snap of a finger. That's why I did that. So if they have your playlist and they're following it, bam, you're right there. They can listen to you anytime you want. And the really cool thing is whenever you put out new music, it'll automatically appear in that playlist. So if they're already following your playlist, you put out new music, you have to add it manually yourself to the playlist. But your fans, if they have your playlist and you put out a new album, bam, your new record is right there. They have access to it. And that's a great way to keep your music on their mind and to keep them into you and paying attention to you and not forgetting about you in this huge sea of music that's out there. Because there's so much music. And if you're not doing these things, if you're not putting out regular music, if you're not embracing streaming, if you're fighting it, you're going to get lost, because this is where people listen to music now. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, Dig. This is how people listen to music, and it's not going away. If anything's going away, it's CDs. Streaming music is here to stay. So you need to start making this part of your strategy and embrace it and be excited about it, because the whole world is on there, man, and you can get your music out there. It's never been easier to get music out there to people all over the world. So get excited about it. Use it. And think outside the box and think of ways you can use it to your advantage. This video is going to be on Soul Motivation Records fan page, or business page, I'm sorry. So definitely, if you ever want to come back and reference some of these ideas, you can go to facebook.com/SoulMo Records. Soul Mo Records. Be sure to stop by there, like our page, and you can always reference this video and go through and try some of these ideas, because they work, and it's the way of the new music business. So the last thing I want to share with you guys is a gift that I have for you. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Kai, what's up, man? What's up, James? Hey, my mom's here. What's up, Mom? Thanks for all the comments and everything. I'm definitely going to go back and listen to these. Or read these and reply to these. But thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. The big gift, the big payoff, the big thing I've been waiting for is I made one of these playlists. So the thing I was just talking about, creating your own playlist, we now have an official Soul Motivation Records playlist for Spotify and for Apple Music. So I'm going to be sharing that link. I'll put it down in the comments here in a minute. I'm also posting it to the event page. So if you're in the event page, or if you have access to that, go there. I'm putting it up right now. You can hit the link, get access to that Soul Motivation Records playlist. It's for Spotify or Apple Music. So you have to be a subscriber to one of those. Again, if you don't have Spotify you can use for free on your desktop, on your computer. So you can try Spotify. If you haven't tried streaming, go try Spotify. It's free. And then hit that link, get our playlist, and then make sure you follow it, and then it'll be there right there in your music library. And whenever you want to listen to Soul Motivation Records, it's right there. Bam! Bam! Whenever you need some motivational hip-hop and R&B, it'll be right there for the clicking. So you click on there. I have both of our releases on there so far. My first record, the What Is Your Soul Motivation, is on there. And then my Glossy Soul record, which is Music to Succeed To, that is on there. And I have some new music coming this year. Lots of new music, actually. So stay tuned for that. I'll definitely have some more announcements coming. But as I release new music, it'll be there right on release day. It'll be there in the playlist. I can't talk all of a sudden. It'll be right there in your playlist, and you will have access to it instantly. So I really encourage you to download or to hit that link and get access to that playlist. Be sure to follow it, save it in your collection, and then you'll have Soul Motivation Records whenever you need it. So I'm going to put that in the comments here in just a minute. I'll post it there. It's also on the event page. So it'll be in those two places. So hit the link, get the playlist, and embrace streaming music, because it is amazing what you can do now and how many people are watching and how many people are listening. And speaking of which, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for stopping in. I love doing these Facebook events, these Facebook Live events. It's a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys stopping in and all the thumbs up and the comments. And I can't wait to see you guys again. We'll be doing another one of these probably in a couple months. So stay tuned for lots of more stuff from Soul Motivation Records coming soon. Talk to you guys soon.